You know, if you're not in New York City, or at least on the East Coast of the United States, it's really hard to fathom exactly what is going on here. As of this recording, we are in the midst of the third worst blizzard in the history of New York City, and the entire East Coast is getting whacked. It's really something. We may actually break the record before this is over, as the snow is still coming down, and there are so many lessons to learn about the snow. We've had quite a Shabbat. You know, we could talk about the not knowing what's going to happen. We could talk about the being out of control and it's all in God's hands. We could talk about feeling helpless, and we could talk about helping others. There are so many lessons, etc. But I want to go back to one thing that keeps cropping up, and I may have spoken about this earlier, but it keeps coming back at us, and what a great reminder it is. You know, yesterday and the day before, the days coming up to this, we knew a storm was coming, and we were all hunkering down and getting ready for the big storm, whatever it was going to be. We weren't exactly sure. And all the forecasters and all the prognosticators and the meteorologists were giving their opinions, and they were somewhat different, etc. But nobody predicted this level of storm. Nobody said it was going to be like this. So you would expect, or I would expect, and I really don't expect, that come today when it really hits, you're going to hear some apologies, or you hear some, at least, I was wrong, I didn't know, nothing. You don't hear from anybody. We blew it. Those big three words, I was wrong. They're so difficult to say. That's what I want to hear. It's okay if you don't know. It's okay if you're really the expert, but you can't tell. Even with all the technology and all the computers and the modules and the models and all they're figuring out, they still don't really know. I'd pay good money to hear a weather forecaster say, coming up soon, a forecast that I have no idea what's going to happen. I think that'd be great. At least it would be honest. It's so important to be honest and to say and to admit that you really don't know what's going to happen. It's really fine. And afterwards, the impossibility of hearing those three words was, I was wrong. It's a reminder to all of us to say that we really don't know. So many times, say it in advance. And if you didn't say it in advance, at least say it afterwards. At least come clean and say, I just didn't know. I'm sorry. That's okay. But admit it. It's somehow so difficult for all of us to do. I think that's one of the great lessons of the blizzard of 2016, as it will be remembered as record-breaking. Meanwhile, we are all just waiting for this thing to stop and wondering and marveling at God's might. And meanwhile, also, let's remember to say, when we're wrong, we were wrong. Something to think about.